This story is not a story I really thought I'd ever be covering, to be honest with you. This is a bombshell in the media world. Newsmax TV scores a ratings win over Fox News for the first time ever. Newsmax TV beat Fox News in the key demographic. This is an earthquake. This is a tsunami in the media world. Because nobody ever thought this was possible. Ever. Ever. In fact, there's a lot of just sad resigning to the hierarchy in the media world. Like, people who work at MSNBC think it is physically impossible, literally impossible, to override Fox News, to beat Fox News ever. Same with CNN. Fox News has always been number one, and so they think no, it's just literally not possible. Which shows you how pathetic they are. None of these people have any vision. None of these people have a plan. None of these people have, honestly, talent. They don't have it. And so they suck, and they're like, oh my God, why do we suck? Because you suck. You need new people. You need a vision. You need to have compelling TV that's actually educational and interesting. They don't have any of that. They just suck. But anyway, this is even more out of left field than the idea of MSNBC or CNN overtaking Fox News. This is a ragtag, startup, little, nothing conservative network that beat Fox News in the demo. Now, to be fair, it's only for one time slot. It's only in the key demographic. And any other time of day, Fox News has 3 times to 4 times more viewers. So I don't want to make too big of a deal of this, but it also is just a very big deal. But my point is, it's not like now it's over and every day Newsmax is going to have more key demo viewers than Fox, because that's not true. But it shows that movement is possible. Movement is absolutely possible. So let me give you some specifics, and then I'll tell you how and why this happened. So in the key demographic, which is age 25 to 54, and this is the one that advertisers care the most about, Greg Kelly Reports is a Newsmax show, and he outrated The Story with Martha McCallum on Fox News. And so the margin was Kelly had 229,000 viewers, and McCallum had 203,000. So, about 20,000 difference. It's a first. It's a first. Now, how did this happen and why did this happen? It all has to do with the election. The far right-wing base, they are Trump diehards. And it is cult-like. It really is. And so when Fox News called the election for Trump, against Trump for Biden, these people they didn't want to hear it. They wanted their emotional needs met. In all seriousness, they wanted a safe space. They wanted to be told the things that they wanted to be true. And so Fox News, even though they are partisan hacks, just as partisan hacky as you can get, they do have, the brain room at Fox News, which is the data analysts and the experts, and they were saying it's over. Biden won. And so they weren't going to override those people because Sean Hannity doesn't want that to be the case. No, they were just yeah, okay, it is what it is. So they were willing to go a long way to do Republican propaganda, but they were not willing to go that far because that is really far. And delusional, right? Because what's the end game? What's the end game? Oh, we're going to deny that Biden won. And then what? Eventually he's going to be sworn in. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do then? You've been wrong for months. So what are you going to do? Oopsie. But there is no accountability. As soon as they called it for Joe Biden, these people were looking for a new network, and they started calling Fox News deep state puppets and secret liberals and part of the swamp and part of the problem and propagandists, and it was vicious and it was nonstop. And so you had a lot of people flee Fox News and go to One America News Network and go to Newsmax. And by the way, you know who's leading this charge the most? Donald Trump. He's tweeting to stop watching Fox News and watch Newsmax and One America News Network. And that's exactly what his people are doing. And so none of these things, guys, none of the hierarchy of corporate media, none of that is really set in stone. None of it. None of it. Everything is fluid. The whole situation is fluid. You could have a situation where MSNBC actually commits to left ideas and principles, and they surge to number one because those ideas are actually more popular in society. But what we're seeing now is the civil war on the right manifesting itself in the real world. And so you have the Trumpists who their whole ideology and philosophy is, I agree with daddy. That's the Trumpists. And then you're going to have like the more establishment Republicans who have the veneer of respectability, the Mitt Romney types. And those are overrepresented in elite circles. And the media is an elite circle. And so now you're seeing this tension present itself. It's all boiling up to the surface now. And I don't know how this resolves itself, but I do know this. Virtually everything Newsmax and One American News Network are saying about the election is false. And I don't think there will ever be any accountability. Because if there's one thing I know about right-wing pundits, it's that if you get something wrong, you never admit to it, and then you move right on and act like you never said it and it never happened. And your audience is willing to go along with you because they also were wrong. And they don't want to face that fact. And so they'll just keep going forward with you. Don't work like that on the left. If I'm wrong about something, you guys will tell me I'm wrong about it, and I got to be like, I was wrong about that. It's happened a number of times. But it's not how it works on the right. And so there is a possibility in the long run of like the Newsmax side and the One American News Network side winning out. And by the way, they might already be winning if you had one network instead of two on the far right. So One American News Network and Newsmax, if that was just one network, they maybe already would be beating Fox News across the board, nonstop. Man, I know I make this point a lot, but I have to make it again. When you talk about creating a network to the right of Fox News, they just want an outright authoritarian network that says our dear leader is always right, Trump is always right. That's all they want. When you talk about creating a network to the left of MSNBC, nobody wants a network that's more sycophantic to Obama or the corporate Democrats or Biden. Nobody wants that. A network to the left of MSNBC is more principled and more policy focused and holds the Democrats accountable just like we hold the Republicans accountable. So that does say a lot, doesn't it? That the far right yearns for that authoritarianism and the far left is so independent-minded that they want nothing held sacred and they want everybody to get the criticism. It's quite a difference, but this is a big event. Don't get it twisted. Newsmax actually beating, for the first time, Fox News in the key demographic at the 7 o'clock hour. We'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward, but should Fox News worry? You tell me.